In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare your table for the join table operation. So what that means is that we have the CSV table that you imported as a DBF. That's the database table within the geodatabase. And we are going to join each of the census tract sociodemographic dataset with the Cook County census tract. So if you right click on each of the table and add to current map, it's added as a standalone table here. And if you just right click on it and open, the table is added. You can see the column headers and the label here. And if you go to your Lab 4 data folder or the data ACS 5-year, data columns needed, that's the Excel file. If you open that, that's where you can see the list of columns that you need. And for each table, what columns you should work with. GeoID and name are common in all tables. So that means we need to keep those two columns from all tables. And from each of the table, then there are a selection of columns that we have to pick and choose. And mostly we will work with estimates. And that means these estimate columns, we do not need the margin of error. Okay. And also you will see that in this column we have this first row, which is basically label, and we cannot use that. We need to delete that because if you open the census tract, there is no such label row that we can join it, because each polygon here represents a census tract boundary. So we need to really align census tract by census tract to make that work, right? So going back to our table here, I'll open the table again. Now, the thing is that there are different ways we can delete column. First, if you select, let's say, margin of error column here, you can right click and you can delete this column. Okay, yes, delete. And it takes a little bit of time, but you can see this is deleted, and you can keep on doing that if you have like one or two columns. But if you have multiple columns, which is a ton of columns here, if you go to the view geoprocessing, I'll just dock it on the right, and toolbox, then data management tools, and in fields, if you go to under the field option, you will have the delete field. And in here, if you open, if you go to the drop down menu and select the table, you can select, really the easy way out would be select all and then uncheck the 4 columns we need, which let's very much cross check, because you have to be very careful about this step, because once you delete the field, you cannot undo. You have to redo the step where you converted the table to geodatabase to get back this table again. Okay, so be very careful before you delete files. Cross-check multiple times, be patient, and then select. Okay, so I said we need to keep these 4 columns: GeoID, name, and then 001E and 002E. And once those are selected, I can click run, and you can see all the other fields, and this is red because these are all gone. And I'll exit out of this window. All the other fields are gone except these 4 that we needed. Okay. Now another thing is that I said we need to also delete the row, and this is kind of the same way as we work with the field. We can just select this row, okay, and we can either click this delete button or right click and delete row. After everything is done, we have to go back to the edit and click on the save button to save the changes that we made to the table. In this way, go ahead and add the next table and keep these 3 columns and delete the rest. Delete the first row if you have a label and save it. And for the last table here, you have multiple columns that you have to keep, and so be very careful about these columns and prepare your table. Once you're done with all three, you should have all your tables prepared. This last one will have the most number of columns, and again, if you have made a mistake, you have to go back to the View Geoprocessing tool and follow this table to Geodatabase, or if you have used Excel, then Excel to Geodatabase option to reinsert the tables into the Geodatabase, and then select the proper fields.